Now the floor is given to Colonel Dmitry Prauta, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, spokesperson. Good afternoon. At the line of confrontation, escalation of situation was recorded compared with previous days. Militants of Russian occupation forces significantly increased number of shellings of defense positions of the servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine. And in Lugansk sector, the occupants delivered 2 precision shellings of our positions. At about 2:30 p.m., the enemy delivered fire with the use of small arms at the defenders of Shestye. And in dark hours, at about 9 p.m., for about 1 hour, the occupants used grenade launchers and large-caliber machine guns at the defenders of Troitske. In the Donetsk sector, 11 precision enemy shellings were recorded. Repeatedly during the last 24 hours, the enemy delivered precision fire with the use of grenade launchers of different systems, large caliber machine guns, and small arms against our defenders of Lebedinsk, Budivka Mine, Kamenka, Staromikhailivka, Novotroitska, and Pavlopil. On the whole, during the last 24 hours, 13 precision enemy shellings of defense positions of the armed forces of Ukraine were recorded. In the result of enemy shelling, no Ukrainian serviceman was wounded or injured. But on the 24th of March, in one of the brigades that complete tasks at the line of combat clash, in the result of an ammunition mishandling, 1 serviceman was fatally wounded. And 1 more serviceman was brought to medical institution where he was provided with necessary medical help. The state of his health is heavy. According to President of headquarters, identification of reasons of accident is ongoing. Now about other news. Commander of Joint Forces Lieutenant General Sergei Naev held a meeting with the newly appointed head of UNO Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in Ukraine. Also, this event was attended by the representatives of International NGO Center on issues of civilians in the conditions of conflict in Ukraine. The sides discussed the issues of creation and introduction of system of collection and analysis of information about damage to civil population in result of combat actions and training of servicemen on topics how to prevent civilian casualties and fostering of formation of state policy concerning protection of civilians in conflict. And also the agreements are reached about opportunity for Ukrainian side to study world experience concerning development and introduction of systems and processes for protection of civilians in conflict conditions, in operations in line with the NATO standards and in the international peacekeeping missions. According to Lieutenant General Sergei Naev, the priorities of command of joint forces in humanitarian sphere in the course of military operation are protection of civilians, creation of conditions for sustainable social and economic development of the region, build-up of potential of civil and military cooperation between joint forces and bodies of state and local power and cooperation with international non-governmental organizations. On the 24th of March in Kiev, on the basis of sports complex of Central Sports Complex of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, final stage of sports testing for candidates to national team of Ukraine Invictus Games was held. Head of Department of Physical Culture and Sports at the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Colonel Yuri Finagenov, informed that final stage was conducted with participation of 130 people who were registered for this event. Out of them, 19 are representatives of the armed forces of Ukraine. And Colonel Yuri Finagenov stressed that Invictus Games is an integral element of social and psychological and physical and sports rehabilitation. Several weekends in a row, the physical cultural and sports institutions of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. There were stages of testing held for servicemen and veterans of military service concerning their participation in international competition Invictus Games 2018, and that will be held in Australia. And during this day, participants of testing competed in 8 adapted disciplines: running, road cycling, rowing on simulators, powerlifting, swimming, long jump, archery, and shot put. Kiev hosted the final stage of all Ukrainian sports testing in the framework of selection for national team. And we remind to you that during 12th and 13th of May in Kiev will host national Invictus Games, and in accordance with the results, a final composition of Ukrainian team will be identified. This team will compete in Invictus Games this autumn in Sydney, Australia. This is all. Thank you.